Hey, don't worry, kid. Everyone has a bad day. Chin up. Made the show. That is one of the most intensely dramatic shows on television, and it requires a lot of concentration. Keep a handkerchief nearby because there are some very sentimental moments, but I'm sure you're going to enjoy it.
All right, well, you guys like it? All right, so let's talk about Adrianne's show's superfans.
My badassery, yes.
Yes, tell us about your badassery.
I figured since I have so many nerdy friends, I do so many nerdy things, I go to cons all over, everywhere, that I realized people are always like talking smack on people who collect, which I collect things, like I have Elwyn and the Witch King and, you know, locked in battle in the Palinar fields at my fireplace, and I have a lot of Gentle Giant and Sideshow in my house, and I thought, you know what? People who collect have to have money. And like, jocks seem to forget that. They're like, oh, you live in your mom's basement? It's like, no, actually I'm a lawyer. I make a whole lot of money, and I spend it on this crap. So I wanted to show how amazing some people's collections and passions were. So I found everything from comic books to cosplay to, well, there is a lot of Star Wars. I'm not biased. I got to go to Rancho Obi-Wan for my first time. I literally touched the helmet from Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader's helmet, and then I licked it so it could be a part of me forever. It was awesome, but it's really cool to, like, when you engage someone about their passion, it's brilliant television because they will tell you, this is what I love, and this I got in 1979, and I was this, you know, 9 years old, and someone handed it to me, and everything has a story. It's basically the smarter and more organized version of Hoarders. So, I mean, I teamed up with a Emmy Award-winning production company because I figured now that Stanley is my boss, which is pretty badass, that I had to get something quality, and I really wanted to do something that built up the community that I'm a part of instead of ripping them apart. I mean, all we have is Big Bang Theory, and it's a bunch of written stuff for people who probably aren't that way, and though I love it, I wanted to show the real Big Bang Theory.
Nice. Well guys, let's take a look at a clip.
I take my thumb off of this and we all blow up.
Hi, I'm Adrianne Curry. We are looking for the world's biggest superfans. Starting this September on Stanley's World of Heroes, I journey across America in search of the world's biggest superfan. There can only be one Star Wars superfan, and I have found him.
Don't forget about Joker. Welcome to Rancho Obi-Wan.
Empire.
Dumpster diving can be a really great place to find collectibles.
This is probably one of the biggest personal collections.
Not one of it's the. Somehow or another, I became the president of the LA chapter, and
Mr. President.
That's correct. You better salute me.
Miss you too, I wrote you up.
I'm stepping back.
What is your definition of a superfan?
By pretty much just have to look in the mirror.
I put out a Facebook request for folks to tell me why they are the biggest superfans.
Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Greg White.
And not wearing my chainmail bikini today, so I'm here to appeal to you as a fellow fan.
I should be a super fan because I'm strong.
Holly Conrad, you are my superfan on the Citadel. Along the way, I'll explore my own personal fandom, how I started, and why it's become such a huge part of my life. I'm also kind of an imperial dominatrix, from the Avengers to Star Wars, Spider-Man to Fantastic Four. Join me on a journey of discovery on Adrianne Curry's Superfans. Watch it or you suck.
Adrienne is actually a very wonderful, trustworthy person. If I had her job, I wouldn't go to the Midwest and so forth looking. I'd say to the people who pay the expenses, you know, I hear there's a super fan on the French Riviera. And there's another great one in Hawaii. And, but I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't let her hear that.
Well, let's hope it's very successful, Stan, and we can have a season 2, and then I can squeeze the money out of it.
Well, we're going to do so well with season 2 that money will be no object.
Yes.
Season 1, rather.
Watch the show.
And now, Peter, David.
Oh, wait, one more. Poor Peter.
Hold it.
I'm sorry.
Jenna, sorry.
Okay, so this is something we can't show you quite yet because it's actually pretty secret, but we have a show coming from Comediva called Geek Therapy. And it's about a caring therapist who helps geeks of all kinds deal with their special emotional issues. So that's going to debut the first week of November. And now, Peter David, tell us about your show.
She had to top me.
I did.
I wish we had clips to show you. I wish we had all kinds of casting announcements. What we have is the locked script, meaning we've got the final script done. So that's where we are. We're going to begin casting and filming in November and December. With any luck, we'll be on the air in January. As I told you, the name is Head Cases. It features the adventures, quote unquote, of a young superhero named Ari, who goes by the superhero name of Thunderhead. The reason being that he can create seismic force waves if he slams his head against solid objects. The downside is that he's not invulnerable. Yeah, you see it coming. The backstory on it is that his first adventure, he endeavored to stop a bank robbery, but he was so amped up and so inexperienced with his powers that he knocked himself unconscious. The subsequent video of the unconscious superhero with the bank robbers running past went viral. And he became a laughingstock. And now he basically just spends most of his days hanging out in a superhero bar called the DMZ that caters to both superheroes and supervillains. And circumstances arise that may cause him to try and recapture being a hero. The problem is that people think he's dead. And of course, being dead in the superhero world, as we all know, doesn't necessarily last. So it's kind of like an inversion of, one person holds up a sign called Coulson Lives. Let me put it to you this way. When he comes back and they go, oh my God, he's alive, right? We swing over to the status board. And on the left-hand side, it says dead. And there's a picture of Thunderhead that's been defaced, you know, and several other and Nightcrawler's picture is on there. On the right-hand side, we have Back to Life, and we've got Captain America, a couple of other guys, and in the middle we have In Transition, and we're going to have a picture of Coulson with with a sketch of the Vision on top of his face.
I think you just made a lot of people very, very happy.
That's what's, I'm not saying Marvel's doing that, it's just kind of like wish fulfillment. If I have my druthers, I'm going to try and talk Clark Gregg into doing a cameo. But who is going to be a supporting character member? This guy.
Thought he'd never get around to that.
Stan is going to be our norm, essentially. So it's going to be like, he walks in, afternoon everybody, Stan! Which is actually pretty much how it is at most conventions.
Well, guys, we have time for a couple of quick audience questions. Oh, A couple of people jumped up. Go ahead.
Do I ask now?
Yes.
Cool. So for Stan, I have a question. When you're developing your characters, there's usually always a conflict either amongst the team members or some type of internal conflict. How would, but it's mainly like a superhero thing. Like let's say somebody would want to write a sci-fi thing. How would some type of conflict amongst?
How do you develop conflict among team members?
Yeah. How would he do that in more?
You want me to answer that, or you want Stan to answer that?
You guys can both answer it.
Okay. He wants to know.
I heard that.
You heard that. Okay, Stan, take it.
You mean, thank you, Peter. You mean like in the Avengers, how do you get conflicts among them?
Yeah.
Or how do you get conflicts in the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, conflict in a really organic
You just
way.
think of real life. You say, what would happen if I were with my wife for more than 6 hours and there were decisions to be made, and I wanted to go chase a villain and my wife wanted to go shopping? And how would we handle that? And you just magnify that. But the most important thing in any comic strip or in any movie or in any novel, you can't have people whose personal lives are serene with no problems. There has to be problems in their personal lives. Now, how do you arrange that? I don't want to tell you. You might be a competitor and you'll go telling your story to DC. But you can figure it out. And thank you for the question, and thank you for translating it, and thank you two girls for just being you.
One more cool question. You say you're
Well,
going.
come on, there's like 10, 15
How would somebody go about getting in the casting thing for your thing?
What?
You say you guys are casting for your new stuff?
Well, yeah, we're going. You have to actually have, actors and stuff. So yeah, we're going to be doing casting in November and early December and shooting in December for head cases.
Yeah. Yeah. How would somebody go for audition?
You don't. Dude, you're here. It's going to be in Los Angeles. Are you in LA?
I could.
You'd have to be a SAG-AFTRA member. You'd have to have an agent who gets the notices that the casting is going, and then you go on a cattle call with a bunch of other people and hope to God you get the part. I have never done that.
Well, thank you.
You shouldn't have to.
By the way, why do I have a cameo in Pete? Why can't I have a regular role?
You do have a regular. No, you do have
not a cameo.
No.
It shows the real me
I
and
said
my ability, right?
Absolutely. I said, speaking of cameos,
We're
guess
friends
who's going
again.
to be? Oh yeah. Oh, Stan's got a major recurring role. With any luck, you're in at least every episode.
I heard a very loud sigh of disappointment. Oh God, we're going to have to watch him again. But it'll be brief. Don't worry about it.
Next question.
I think you guys are great. Seriously, you guys are awesome. Stan, I want to thank you so much. I have almost all the comic strips. In fact, the new Spider-Man, where Spider-Man died and came back, I forget what it's called, Spider-Man, where that kid takes over. That was brilliant. And that was awesome. And you were great, the Avengers, Spider-Man.
Hold on 1 second. Basically, so far, he says you kick ass. Everything you do turns into gold, and you are God. Pretty much?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're the best. And I was doing that, man. And I'm also doing a lot of videos on YouTube. Go Stan!
See, and now he said metal, which is rock the F on forever. He loves you. Yeah.
Well, that's all I have to know. Thank you.
No, she pretty much knows her.
Hello.
Well, I am quite lovable, I will admit that.
Hi, I'm just so happy to be here, like 10 feet away from you or whatnot. I don't know.
Bask in the divine glow.
My question is, Stan, if you could be any one of your characters, who would you want to be?
If you pick any character that you create, which of those characters would you like to be personally?
Well, maybe Tony Stark. I mean, we already look alike. Hey, I just thought thought of something. Did you talk about our show, Cocktails with Stan?
We're going to mention that right at the end.
Don't we have any films? Is that why you didn't?
We may. We
and
may.
you didn't talk about the ramps? And
Oh, I
you
did.
didn't talk about a lot of other things?
It's called saving the best for last.
Right.
She wants to have the last word. She's a woman.
See, the thing about Cocktails with Stan, Jenna's going to be the host, and I'm going to have this rather attractive creature as one of my guests very soon.
Awesome.
All right, we have time for one more question. I know.
First of all, I want to say, Stan and Peter, you're freaking geniuses. I love your work. I was just wondering, is there any show you wanted to do but couldn't do, or for any reason, or just didn't have time?
Did you hear him?
Stan Lee.
He was asking if there was any show or anything you ever wanted to do but couldn't because of time or maybe restrictions from somewhere else.
Hold on, just real quick. I don't care how much time we have left. There's two very young kids who are standing right there. I'd like to say
very cool. Very cool, Peter. Very cool.
We're gonna answer this question, and then I don't give a damn when we're supposed to get out. Then we'll let the kids ask their question.
Very cool.
We're not blowing you off. Don't worry. Just stand when I answer that question. But then we get the kids. I mean, you got the Thor helmet going there. You got it. So go ahead.
See, Peter knows, he's really my enemy. He knows I have a bad memory, so he felt if he talked for a few minutes, I'd have forgotten the question. But luckily, Adrienne was here to remind me. So oh my God, I forgot it again. Oh yeah, is there anything, no wait a minute, is there
anything that you've ever wanted to do, but because of time restraints or just restrictions from, I don't know.
I wanted to be the President of the United States. Thank you, political fans. I never had the time for that. I wanted to be Errol Flynn. I never get around to that. And no, actually, I'm doing everything I want to do. I just wish I could hear what people are saying to me while I'm doing it. Oh, there was one thing. I had written a series of books for DC, believe it or not, called something like, What If Stan Lee Had Created Superman or Batman? And there are 12 of them. And the unfortunate thing is, they can't continue it as a series because they, I guess, don't want to compete with their own characters because obviously mine was so much better. One of my problems. My other problem, of course, is my innate modesty, but we'll discuss that some other time.
Okay.
Ask them a question, because I
run out of
answers.
You poor child. Go ahead, Annie.
Hi, sweetheart.
I just wanted to know, how does it feel to have like all those bodyguards around you like almost all the time?
She wants to know how it feels to have all these big bodyguards around you, like 6'4" Amazonian woman that will defend you to her death.
They're not bodyguards. They're my dream girls.
I think what she's trying to say to her wonderful, youthful, gorgeous little brain is fame and the level of it. Like, how does it feel when you're walking through a room and have everyone like stand?
That you have to almost have protection from the people who love you that much. They might love you.
It's true. It's not easy being the idol of millions. But I'll tell you a funny story. Years ago, nobody had any respect for people who worked in comics. I mean, many years ago, like in the 60s, 50s. Sometimes I'd go to a party and somebody would say, "What do you do?" And I'd say, "I'm a writer." I tried not to say a comic book writer. So I'd say, "I'm a writer." They said, "Well, what do you write?" Eventually I had to say comics, and the guy would walk away from me as if I had the plague. However, thanks to the movies today, which have made superheroes so big, now I go to a party, somebody catches a glimpse of me, and says, "Excuse me, President Obama, I see Stan Lee over there." nothing I did.
Okay, last question
Okay,
from
let me take an educated guess. You're going to ask Stan if he can sign that comic book?
Yes, sir.
He wants to know if you'll sign that comic book for him.
Of course.
Okay, bring it up.
All right.
Awesome.
So guys, while we're doing that, I will
By the way,
mention...
I just want to say something. This kid's comic has had the crap beaten out of it. Suck it, CGC. This is what comic books do.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm so happy it's gonna make me cry.
Well guys, go ahead, Sam.
This was almost a very rare moment. This is the first time somebody asked me to sign a comic book and gave me a pencil rather than a Sharpie. However, luckily, I have just received a Sharpie.
Alright guys, we have to wrap this up, so before we go, I just want to mention Stan's show, Stan's Rant. If you haven't checked it out, it's really funny. Mask and Cape, Unconventional, and of course, my show with Stan, Cocktails with Stan, where we drink with celebrities and find out interesting stories. Alright guys, so we're just going to run a quick clip, and thank you all for coming. Love to thank you guys. Make sure you thank Peter, David, Adrianne Curry, and of course, Stan Lee.
In the unlikely event that one of the questions was for me, I'll be down at Artist Alley at table BB1. You can come down in there and ask me at 5 o'clock.
I'll be shopping.
Hey guys, I'm Jenna Busch. Welcome back to Cocktails with Stan.
Oh, vodka! Isn't that great?
Let's cheers. Cheers. Slush up.
All right, now that we covered that.
I want to talk about sex and comics.
Nobody wants to see my butt, and I don't blame them.
You have a very good face for lying.
This is like the most disastrous interview I've ever been part of.
Breaking the rules of physics is part of the game.
The only mystery about Superman to me, and someday I'll figure it out, if I took off my glasses...
Whoa! I have nothing to say about that.
Do you have to sit so close?
Do I have to separate the two of you?
One of my favorite parts about the movie that I got to make was the relationship between Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy.
Tell me, have you ever wanted to play a superhero?
I would like to avoid the tights at this time. I found this photo.
What's that?
This is a famous picture.
Oh, come on!
So is there a question you've always wanted to ask Stan?
What's your pin number?
Do we have to worry about a Justice League coming out to try to compete?
Who's your favorite X-Man?
Like what inspires you? Like, oh, that's gonna be cool.
Greed. You ready for this?
I hope so.
Excelsior!